Hey everybody, welcome to Mike Oski's Kitchen. My name is Michael Shepsky. I'm the chef of this kitchen, and if you're tuning in, I'm hoping that you're the chef of your kitchen or you're striving to be. Cooking's very simple. Hey, today we're gonna keep some Polish food going on, but it's kind of like Polish food, it's kind of not Polish food. It's kind of Italian. So let me explain. This is called Pierogi Lasagna. Yeah, I said it, Pierogi Lasagna. So it's kind of fusing two different types of ethnic foods, the lasagna noodles, and of course the Polish food, just intruding on this Italian dish and making it a Polish dish. Super simple to make. I'm going to show you what's in it. Look at these ingredients. There's not much. Very simple to make. In fact, I spent $10.86 getting these ingredients, and this dish will feed 6 to 8 people. I mean, it's fantastic. It's simple. There's some work to do on it, some peeling and boiling and things like that, but let me show you what we have. In this dish, we're going to use 2 onions, okay? I like the yellow onions. They're a little bit more strong for me. The sweet onions, you can use those. We're going to use butter, a whole stick of butter, which equals about a ½ cup. And I'll show you what we're going to do with that. Cheese, 2 cups of cheese. I like the mild cheddar. You can use any kind of cheese, goat cheese, whatever. And of course, potatoes. Now, it calls for 6 cups of mashed potatoes. And what we're going to do, we're going to end up making mashed potatoes, and I'm going to show you the process of how to do it, of how to layer it and all that kind of stuff in a bit. But it calls for 6 cups of mashed potatoes. So if you do the calculations and the math, which I'm not good at, one potato equals about a ½ cup of mashed. So if you want 6 cups, do the math. You need about 12 potatoes. 3 pounds, 3½ pounds, somewhere there, maybe 4 pounds of potatoes. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and peel these, cube them, and we're going to boil them because we're going to make mashed potatoes with these. And of course, hey, one ran away. Hey, one ran away. Sometimes they do that. That's the one you don't want to keep because that one's a little bit of a rebel. And of course, lasagna noodles. Typical lasagna noodles, you're just going to cook them up just like the box says to do. I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Then finally, salt and pepper to taste. You know I'm going to use a lot of pepper because it's Polish. So we're going to actually transform this lasagna dish into a Polish dish that actually has some lasagna noodles in it. So enjoy it. We're going to make this. We're going to layer it. We're going to bake it just like lasagna. But I said the Polish flavors have intruded into this Italian dish. Hey, I'm going to go ahead and get to work. Peel these potatoes, slice these onions, and we're going to cube these potatoes up, get them boiling, and I'll see you over at the hot spot. And hey, let's get to work. Remember, stay hydrated. Hey, welcome back. We're back here at the hot spot. Well, I like to call the hot spot. You guys can call it the stove. We got a couple things cooking here. We have water boiling right here for the lasagna. Now, real quick on lasagna noodles. You don't want to cook them fully because this dish is going to go into the oven for about an hour, 50 minutes to be exact. So those lasagna noodles will cook while that thing's in the oven. So you want to cook them about 2 or 3 minutes. Just get them soft enough that you can work with them. I'll show you that in a minute. Potatoes for the mashed potatoes. Got them all cubed up. They're in this pot. They're going to boil for probably 10 to 12 minutes till they're soft, and then we'll take them over and I'll show you what I do when I mash them. And then finally, cooking right now are the onions. Sliced up in small pieces. I mean, you can cook them any way you want. I like to kind of keep them really thin so they cook nice. And what we're going to do, this is with that ½ cup of butter, that 1 stick of butter. I'll put it in there and I'm going to let the whole thing kind of simmer and saute, caramelize these things up a little bit because this is going to be a huge part of the dish. Now, while it's cooking, I like to season while I cook. So yes, we're putting pepper in. And lots of it. Get a nice little coating on it. And then I will just drizzle a little salt. Not much, just a little bit to add a little bit to it. That's plenty. And I'll just mix this over. So while this continues to caramelize and everything else starts to boil, I want to stay busy. You guys can sit back and relax. But you remember that potato that ran away from us earlier? Well, in my kitchen, potatoes don't run away. And if they do, they get caught. And they get caught, and this will serve as a reminder for all the potatoes in the bag never to run away in Mike Oski's kitchen. So anyway, there you go. This potato is no longer a runaway. Look, we'll be right back. Let's get everything boiled here. Let's get the lasagna noodles boiled. Let's get the potatoes boiled. Let's let these onions continue to caramelize. And then once that's done, we'll head back over to the mixing area and we'll put this thing together and put it in the oven. See you in a little bit. Okay, hey, welcome back everybody. We just got done with the hot spot. We boiled some potatoes till they're soft and they're already in a mixing bowl. And then we boiled some lasagna noodles. And of course we got our thing. But let me show you the potatoes. They're nice and soft. I got them in little bite-sized little cubes, easy to mash. I use a KitchenAid masher for that kind of stuff. But here's how I make, look, I'm not gonna tell you how to make your potatoes because everybody has a different recipe. Some people add cream cheese, some people add cheddar cheese, some people add chives, all this kind of stuff. So this is how I make it, but make your potatoes, your mashed potatoes, the way you make them at home, typically the way you make them. Let me just show you a simple way to do it. But here's one thing I gotta caution you on in this recipe. We don't want really loose or runny mashed potatoes. We want a kind of a thicker consistency, kind of like what's in the pierogi, you know what I mean? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to maintain the pierogi motif during this dish. So if you use like different kinds of butters and milks and stuff like that, just back off a little bit, let it be a little bit more thick so it can spread on the lasagna noodles. And I'll show you all how to do that here shortly. But here's what I like to do. My potatoes, put them right here. I use beer, like everybody, right? But I use a little warm milk. I just keep it room temperature. I just add to it again, there's no amount of ingredients that I use. I just kind of use what feels good. Some butter. I do use sour cream and some black pepper, and of course some salt. But always some black pepper, some black pepper, some black pepper. This is what makes it a Polish dish. The mashed potatoes along with these amazing caramelized onions that we'll use. Fantastic. We'll put this together and I'm excited. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and make my potatoes. Again, sour cream, salt, a little bit of warm milk, a little bit of butter, and of course black pepper. We're gonna go ahead and start getting this thing ripped up. Again, we don't want to go too heavy on the sauces or the milks or the butters and stuff. We don't want it runny. We want the potatoes nice thick consistency. Again, just like you'd see in pierogi. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on this. I'll show you how it turns out and I'll be back here in just a little bit. See you then. Hey, we're back. Listen, man, we already did our potatoes. Now look, remember I said don't keep them too sticky? See how kind of pasty they are? You don't want them too sticky or too runny because it just won't work. It just won't work. You want to keep them kind of pasty like that. So now we have potatoes. We have our caramelized onion with plenty of butter and pepper in there. We have our lasagna noodles. We have our cheese. And we have, of course, our pepper. So here we're going to go. We have a 9 by 13 pan or dish, whatever you want to use, but 9 by 13 seems to work really well. I'm just going to go ahead and spray this down with a non-stick. No big deal. What we're going to do is you're going to take the lasagna noodles and lay these puppies out. So you're going to go 4 of them across the bottom. 1, 2, 3. Kind of layer them up if you need to. And then 4. Beautiful. Now comes the good part. You ready? Take your potatoes. Mix them up a little bit more. And what I like to do is kind of put one blob here and then one blob here. And we're going to spread them out. I use this little spreading dish or a little plastic spreading spoon. We want to get it into the, just spread out evenly. Add some more. So ultimately, this is taking the place of the ricotta cheese in a lasagna. A little bit more. You just want to make a layer. Take your time. You can hold the lasagna noodles with your fingers so it stays still while you're spreading these out. This is how it's going to look. A bit more. Fill in the areas. Fill in the blanks. Don't let any noodle be seen. So it's looking pretty good right there. Drop a little bit more in this corner here. There we go. I like to work the middle and then work the corners because that kind of ends it out. Very good. Same thing of this corner too. I can't wait till the next step to show you. Okay, good. Now, after we get everything nice and covered, well, the next step is going to be, excuse me, to add the mashed potatoes, and then of course you wanna do the sauteed onions. Remember, we have I cut about 50%, so half and half. So I'm gonna go ahead and put these on here. Just sprinkle them around. Don't worry about it. We'll get them in there. We'll move them around once they're in there. Perfect. Only half for this layer, and then we're going to spread them on the potatoes. Spread them over. Let them get stuck in the potatoes. We're Polska-tized in an Italian dish, folks. A bit more of the right here. There we go. Now we want to do a couple more layers after this. So we're going to put another layer of noodles on here. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. Now, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to move this into moving the potatoes back onto like we did in the first layer, and then we're going to do the rest of the onions, and we'll have another layer of noodles, and then we'll top it off with cheese. I'm going to go ahead and finish these layers, and I'll be right back to show you how. And oh my gosh, you know what I forgot? I forgot the cheese. Oh my gosh, how we cannot have pierogi and cheese and pierogi. Look, I put these on. You can take them right back off. Remember, they're nice and soft because you didn't cook them that long. And it's okay. You'll forget things in your kitchen sometimes. You just have to kind of hit the rewind button and do that. What we're going to do, we have the potatoes and we have the onions. Now let's add some cheese. I'm just going to sprinkle some of it, like a half cup or so. Just enough that it will melt really nice. That's perfect. Now folks, now we can add our noodles back on there, your lasagna noodles, as we Polska-tize this Italian dish. Now, boom. Now I'm going to continue on. Potatoes, onions, cheese. Remember, I forgot the cheese last time. Potatoes, onions, cheese. I can remember that. We're going to do another layer, and then we're going to finish off the rest of it with the rest of the noodles. Another layer of noodles. I'll just show you in a second. Be right back. All right, so this is ready to go into the oven. Just let me review real quick here. We're going to put that first layer of lasagna noodles down, like 4 noodles, and then you put your potatoes, and then you put your onions, your sauteed onions, and then your cheese. Sprinkle some cheese on it. Then you go another layer of the lasagna noodles. 4 noodles across, potatoes, onions, cheese, and then the final layer is lasagna noodles. So you're using 12 noodles, 4 across, and then we sprinkle the rest of the cheese on top of that. Now we're going to cook this thing for half hour at 375. Wait till you see how this turns out. This is amazing. Again, $10.86 worth of food. You can serve your whole family with this and more. We'll be right back. Let's bake this thing and wait till you see how it turns out. See you in a little bit. Okay, awesome. Hey, we're back. This thing's already baked. Now remember, we put it in at 375 for 30 minutes. Look how nice it looks. The cheese is on top. It's kind of crusted. It looks fantastic. You did it. What we've done, Polskas, is that we have taken an Italian meal with lasagna noodles and Polska-tized it. Yes, we made it a Polish dish. What we've done, mashed potatoes, sauteed onions, pepper. This is it. This is called Pierogi Lasagna. And so yes, we did intrude on the Italian dish of lasagna. All those Italians are going to be upset with me. But I'll tell you what, it's a fantastic dish. Make this for your family. This is really good. Congratulations. We Polska-tized an Italian dish. So now it's called Pierogi Lasagna. Sorry, Italians. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. God bless. And of course, na zdrowie.